Okay, so what we're going to cover in this video is looking how many people in aggregate taking these ethical actions can increase the likelihood that we achieve the positive social impact that we all desire. We'll look at the Fogg Behaviour Model developed by BJ Fogg in his work at Stanford, particularly with the Persuasive Technology Lab, which was later relabeled the Behaviour Design Lab. And we'll look at how behaviour design is relevant to the Greater Than Learning platform and why we've built it. The outcomes, straightforward. We want you to get an understanding of behaviour design and the Fogg Behaviour Model and look at how that can be applied in your personal and professional life. Making better together. So what we're really looking at doing is based upon something that's really inspired us. And this is some work by Erica Chenoweth, where she looked at nonviolent political resistance and social movements over the course of the whole 20th century. So a good data set. And if you have this small minority, 3.5% in this case, you can catalyze pretty significant change. So this is really a key point. Now let's look at the Fogg Behaviour Model. So simply B equals map. Behavior happens when motivation, ability, and a prompt occur at the same time. So let's look into this model in a little bit more detail. So motivation on this y-axis, motivation can be low and it can be high. Pretty straightforward. We can all relate to that. And the different motivation types. So we have sensation, anticipation, belonging. Sensation, we want to seek out pleasure and avoid pain. We anticipate, we want to hope, and we also have fears around what might happen. And belonging, tapping into our nature as social creatures, we want to be accepted and we want to avoid rejection. So over to ability. So ability on this x-axis here, we have things that are hard to do and things that are easy to do. What are the factors that might influence ability? So time, if you're asking me to do something that might take me half an hour and I've only got 5 minutes, it's going to be really difficult to do. Money, if I don't have enough money, $50 to buy something and I've only got $10, I'm not going to be able to do it. Physical effort, how much effort? You can ask me to run a marathon, but if I don't have the fitness, I'm not going to be able to do it. Mental effort, how much work is it involved for me to think about doing some behavior, and does it fit my routine? Let's look at this in a little bit more detail. So as we see over here, motivation fluctuates. There's times where we could do hard things because we're really motivated, and then there's just majority of the time motivation isn't that high and we can't do those hard things. So let's kind of think about this with an example. So let's say that I want to redesign the legal agreements that we have in our sign-up experience. And I'm really motivated to do it, but I don't know how. I don't know how to do legal design. I've never done it before. I've read some stuff, but my ability is not really quite there. Now, if I don't have support in my peers, I don't have the authorizing environment, it's lower in priority, all of a sudden, things become really hard to do. And up here, I'm not going to be able to achieve the behavior. So there's a trade-off between motivation and ability, which is what this action line is. So prompts succeed here. What we're trying to do is make things easy to do. So we don't want to rely upon high motivation all the time. So we progressively try to increase the difficulty of achieving things over time. So we can increase people's ability and not have to rely upon motivation. So this is a progressive approach that we can apply using the BJ Fogg Behaviour Model. And lastly, this is all about you and us going on this change together. So learning together, learning better together. That change that we all seek, if we're all engaged in these actions, we can increase the likelihood that we achieve the world that we will be proud of.